Hey everyone, this is Carly Joseph, the Assistant Director of ResLife, and today we're going to talk about building programming in your residence hall. So first we're going to talk about why programming is part of your role as an RA. As a ResLife staff member, it's really important that we build authentic community for all residents. This means programming plays a big role in community. So what is programming? Programming is when the ResLife staff plan an event for their dorm to better the life and experience for their residents. It's super important that in order to get students involved and engaged, that we build the community in the residence halls, and that all starts with programming. To kind of talk about the types of programming, we start with REC. REC is our residential event committee. These events are provided for all students who live on campus. More than just doing it in one residence hall, we wanted to branch out and be able to invite all the community of students who live on campus. And REC provides us the opportunity to do bigger events and have more enjoyable things for all students. Social engagement is intentional residence hall activities to create an amazing atmosphere in your particular dorm. We do this weekly, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more in seat orientation, but it's going to be a weekly thing that you do this year rather than just weekend events. Community development are activities that involve smaller group interactions that are more intentional or built around interests so that all students have the opportunity to be involved. This is something that you don't have to plan, but that you can go, maybe somebody in your zone, you can go to dinner with them, or maybe go to an event happening on campus, and this is all parts of community development. And then we have passive and educational. These can be really tough at times because students don't necessarily always want to come to an educational event because they think it may be boring. But we try really hard to kind of incorporate this in the passive side of it so we can give information to residents. And we can do that through bulletin boards, through maybe putting a flyer on the back of the bathroom stall doors, to even giving out brochures or something to students. Just to kind of reiterate the examples of community development, for instance, sporting events. If you are going to a sporting event and you want to invite other students to go with you, you can also ask others to come to your dorm and watch a movie or your favorite TV show. If you enjoy hiking, then invite your zone to go to the falls and hike. There's so many opportunities that you can do to build community within the residence halls. Some more examples of passive and educational would be posting a schedule of all the activities happening on campus. And we're really going to do this year. That way, students have access to all those events going on. If it's a National Health Month, maybe create a board that is informational and intentional about health. Or even posting on the ResLife and Resident Hall Instagram accounts. This year, we're really going to brand that and use just one ResLife account that you all have access to be able to get the information out to students. Examples of social and engagement events could be TV show premiere nights. I know for girls, The Bachelor and The Bachelorette go really well, but also in guys' housing, even the UFC fighting does. Video game tournaments, live sporting event viewing parties, small nights. This can be really as creative as you want to get, and the more that you get the word out, the more opportunity you'll have for building community in your building. As I mentioned earlier, weekly programming is the way we're going to go more for social engagements. Each week, whoever is assigned to the upcoming weekend will need to do an event. We don't want to limit this just to the weekend, but we wanted to give the opportunity to plan around maybe important events students would be interested in. This can be a set event or last all weekend. For instance, if you know the Bachelorette is coming on Monday night and it's the season premiere and you know that it's going to be something that students really want to watch, you could do a viewing party on Monday night rather than wait till Friday or Saturday to have an event. We want you all to be able to not just have a quantity of events, but also really emphasize having quality events that students actually want to go to. Goals of programming are super important because it gives residents things to do on campus within their own residence hall and also just in campus in general. Programming can help build community within the dorms between residents. Some of our goals this coming year is going to be to do a community development weekly passive monthly and social engagements weekly. Attending every educational event that is put out on the by the RHD and RHL of your building is also something that we want you to do. The next thing we're going to talk about is activity tracker. For those of you that are returning RAs, you know that we use THD Mobile a lot. And this year we're going to really emphasize using activities and events on THD Mobile. Activity tracker is going to give us the opportunity to track our programs and like even who is sponsoring those programs, and also which residents that you had come to these events through THD. It's really going to be an effective way to invite residents to attend these events. When creating activity tracker events, you're going to click on the main page, you're going to click on activity and events. Once you've done that, you can see the screen here where you want to select create new. Next, you'll name the event and select what type of event it is. You can kind of see here that it says food/social, but that's not actually going to be the way that we use it. And so that'll change a little bit, and we'll talk more about that in in-seat orientation. You'll also select the date, start time, and end time as well. And we'll talk a little bit more about how to use this during orientation. Now you can kind of see here how you create the name, the type, date, start time, and end time. You can also make it to where you can make it a weekend long thing, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. Like I said earlier, you can also add students that are expected to attend or see the activity/event. During the activity, the RA can mark when/if residents attend. To kind of give you some reminders and tips, it's going to be required this year to fill out activity tracker on THD Mobile. So it's super important that you really emphasize working on this and learning how to do it. If you have questions, please talk to your RHDs about this. While the majority of residents are athletes, there are still non-athletes residents. So make sure to be inclusive with all students. Using zones to your advantage is also a big way that your community and your residence halls can be successful and effective. They're a perfect way to complete your community development project, and then also really getting to know those students is super important. When planning an event, make sure that all staff members are aware of when it is. So not only can you let residents know, but they can also let their own zones know. Also, memos should be made, not only for your residents to be notified, but to be used as documentation that an event took place. And this will be really good as well to advertise to your residents.